in a way, when he thought, he said to someone, you know they don't move the talk. Yeah? How is the big one going to smash the small one? Yeah? So now the question here is this. He acknowledged that we created them with our own hands. The big one can't smash the small ones because he can't move and talk. So, but one thing he didn't understand, and the penny didn't drop, is that, hold on a second, then why am I worshipping something that doesn't talk, that needs me, I bring food in front of it, you can't even eat the food, yeah? So, what Islam has come down is to abolish worshipping idols, be it a statue, be it a human being, be it prophets, yeah? Be it the sun or the moon, yeah? Okay, so Islam has come down to tell people, worship your creator alone. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's the reason why, for example, be it your glasses, you know your glasses are designed. Why? Because you don't need to go to the factory. Some people come and say to me, yeah, I can go to the factory and see it. But the question is, did you go to the factory and see it? No. You believe that they're designed by default.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, you use your logic, yeah? You saw the information, you absorbed it, and you came with certain conclusions. This is the designer. So that's the same way. What we say is God is the one who sustains us. He gives us life. He looks after us. He gives us everything. Yeah. Okay. Is he not worth his worship? That's the question that I would ask you, our sister. Sister, seriously, you're not going to stand there like that. Let's just.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I also don't really like being filmed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Don't. Okay. You do film.
Yeah, I mean, so I really don't have a logical argument that goes against it, except that for me personally, I haven't seen the evidence with my own eyes that these glasses weren't or were designed, right? I haven't been to the factory, I haven't seen the plastic being melted, whatever the process is. Still, I think there is much more evidence that is directly accessible to me to show that to me that these glasses are designed by the evidence, the factual evidence, as I consider evidence. And I really want to know here that I'm not trying to say that there is or isn't a creator or a higher intelligence, just that I'm not convinced either way, and I'm leaning towards the negative side because I don't have the factual evidence that I think I would need.
How about if I do give you the Are you saying the only reason you believe that glasses are designed is that you haven't accessibility to the manufacturing company?
Yes, not the only reason, but potentially one very conclusive evidence.
Okay, so are you saying that if you didn't have access to manufacturing, you would reject what they're designing?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
So understand me wrong here, or don't. So what I'm trying to say is that, well, I don't consider, for example, to like historical artifacts, I don't consider all of them being, or I don't question their designer by default, just that I think that there's still enough evidence, even though I can't go to someone who died thousands of years ago and ask them to design this or not. I would still consider there to be sufficient circumstantial evidence, and I wouldn't say that there is a higher intelligence. I wouldn't need to meet God or whoever to be convinced, but I would definitely need more than I know today, and as far as I know, anyone. And that is not to say that I'm right or wrong. That's just saying that I'm a skeptic. I'm a skeptic about a lot of things.
So that's just one argument I use. Okay, so there's plenty. So for example, do you believe in causality? Yeah. So if I said my premise is this: everything that begins to exist requires a cause.
So I don't know if I think that is a requirement for everything that exists.
That's my premise. Everything that begins to exist requires a cause. And I believe that's a strong premise. Yeah, you can squeeze it otherwise. Because from anything that you can give me an example that has property existence is nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No, nothing.
Okay.
No, actually.
Okay. So therefore, we know our universe begins to exist. Okay. So if it began to exist, it doesn't come from nothing. So what is that?
Well, yeah, there's several different theories, and I'm not an astrophysicist or whatever.
There's a lot of theories, but none of them reject the notion that it had a beginning. So that's what I'm trying to...
Absolutely, but none of them support it either, right? So they neither support nor totally reject that possibility.
No.
So there's no conclusive either way.
No. There's none of them that can reject the possibility that it had a beginning. So they cannot make this claim that it came from nothing. From nothing comes. You can never, ever have something from nothing. Because nothing is absolutely. So,
yeah, well, I think obviously that's a very logical extension of the argument, but I still think we don't know that much. Like, literally, this is something that is probably inobservable to us, right? And we can only draw logical conclusions from the setting that we are in. And in where we are right now, obviously nothing can come from nothing.
Yes.
But has that been a rule of the universe forever? Can we really be sure about
Well,
it?
it is, because the thing is, I believe you have more reasons to believe in the creator rather than to not. Yeah? You have much more reasons to believe in the creator than not. So the example that I gave about Abraham, that's one of them, yes? Logically, you know this. For example, if you woke up one day, you guys woke up one day and saw a brick smash on the floor in your house, would you think to yourself, okay, that happened because a great dragon flew through my house? Or would you say there has to be natural causes?
Just say
natural causes, yeah? Why? Because you're going with the best possible explanation. Okay. So therefore, the question that I ask agnostics and an atheist is the following, yeah? Why is it that when it comes to the creator, we take logic out and we say, look, we don't need logic. This is one thing that I try to understand with our atheist friends. Everything that we do in our life is logical. When we cross the road, we look left and right. When we go to buy shoes or chains, whatever it may be, which one looks the best, etc. We use our logic day in, day out. Yeah? Why is it that when it comes to a creator, our atheist friends say, there might be other possibilities, this is what I try to understand, like, because there's logical glasses, the universe not coming out of nothing, like that's something has cause and effect, yeah? So for example, everything's cause and effect. If I drink a bottle, it's cause and effect, everything's cause and effect. Therefore it requires originally there's someone from the beginning that has caused this, you know what I'm trying to say? So therefore, providing the evidence, there's another evidence that I'm telling you DNA, yeah? I don't know if you want to hear that first, but I want to hear maybe what's something to say.
Not really. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Okay, just one last argument.
Okay,
so,
yeah, go ahead.
So the DNA, yeah? For example, we know the DNA has information, yeah? Okay, so you know how, for example, the way it functions, etc. That's the reason why you look like this, you look like this, I look like this, etc. Yeah? Okay, that's information, yeah? If there's information, doesn't it require intelligence?
So that is, I mean, yes. If we're considering it, so then you have to define information, because
so for example,
so no, but you can still take out information from light sources, for example. So say that there's so this is going to be really nerdy kind of way of using the universe. So say like I don't know, like a supernova. You can still transcribe information from the pulses of it, but is that to be considered, like we ascribe, because we become what we become, and we can see that DNA, like whatever they're called, binds it together, different lattices. We ascribe meaning to that because we know that we came from that. Like that is us in a sense. But then
information like code, you know, like DNA, there's codes in there, yeah? There's certain codes which work together, and make us, yeah? So if I give you a book, there's information in it, yeah?
But so what is to say that that is not just like a trial and error? Say that something a process have gone through this millions and millions of times. Finally, it ends up with something that is not total nonsense.
That's probability. So for example, if I had empty grass and I said let's give it infinite 1 billion years, would we ever get a chocolate fudge cake with strawberries? Empty glass. It doesn't have the elements to make a chocolate strawberry fudge cake. So therefore, the time is irrelevant. You know what I'm trying to say? Because time has got nothing to do with it. So
yeah,
therefore,
but that's putting isolation to something that is not isolated. So for example, like the evolutionary process wasn't isolated in just a glass that didn't have anything else. And you said like we're going to make a chocolate fudge cake, so it doesn't really make sense.
Of course, but even the evolutionary process, it goes back to the first cell. The first cell goes back to DNA, RNA, yeah? So if I have a book and there's information, you're going to automatically think there's intelligence behind it.
Because that information makes sense to you, right?
Yeah. But just say you're saying it's fine with me. There's going to be some kind of, like, there might be some kind of a code, but let's say it made sense to you, yeah? Just the way DNA. Maybe DNA didn't make sense to you. But when we look at, for example, the codes within the DNA and how it works, it's like a factory. It's actually like a factory. Yeah. So therefore, if I look at a book and I say, okay, there's information requires intelligence, why do I not do the same with the DNA and say, hold on a second, this is actually like cell is very, very complex and it's working, it's like a factory, it's working. So can I not start to say, you know what, that information is what we give it intelligence.
I think that's a totally logical way to look at it. Logical. No, absolutely. And I don't.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, sorry. I finished.